Day number 21 of the Daily Journal video series. Everyone, welcome back. My name is Hervin, and this is the Daily Journal video series where every day I come on and I share any lessons that I learned today from trying to scale our business, any books that I've been listening to, anything that I have found that is really cool. I come in and I'm making a habit of documenting the lessons every day, and today is day number 21, which is supposedly when you establish a habit is after the first 21 days. So today marks that 21st day of me doing these every day. The point of this is that it's challenging myself. So the point of coming in every day and documenting the journey is, number one, I think it's a really cool practice, and I want to challenge anybody who's watching to come over, go online and share something that you think would be valuable for other people. Share also your journey, your own point of view, and share your journey, whatever you're learning, if you're somebody who's interested in growing, is really cool to have a document there of all the lessons that you've gone through and that you're learning as in real time as you're learning them. And you only have to be as transparent as you want to be. And so I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Obviously, there are things inside our business that I don't want to give away or share because we're working on them, and they're kind of projects that are unique to us, and so we want to make sure that I'm coming in here transparently. But whatever, if you're somebody who's thinking about I should be making content, I should be putting content out there, I want to be creating a podcast, some videos, some YouTube videos, you should totally take the time to do it. And that, something that I wrote today here in my journal, and if I'm looking this way, I'm looking at my notes here, is that if something is worth doing, it's worth doing, number one, every day. Or if something is worth doing, it's worth doing often. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing every day. And the other thing is that if it's worth doing, it's also worth doing badly. Okay? And so I know that YouTube and having a personal brand is going to be more and more important as we move into the future. You could already see the people who have big YouTube channels because of their big YouTube channel and big influence, they're able to start businesses and make them successful really easily. They already have trust. People already look up to them, and it takes years to build. If you look at Joe Rogan, I've heard stories from Joe Rogan that it took him about 7 years of creating content before it got any traction. And so it takes a really long time. And so the goal is to come over here and share the journey. And I know these might not be like the most wide appealing videos. And I know these might not be right now like really polished videos and how they're going to end up looking 2 years, 3 years later. But it's okay. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing badly. For me, this is kind of like the initial reps. When you go to the gym and you're a newbie to the gym, you don't know which machines you should be hitting. You don't know how to work out, what the right form is. You're just coming in and you're sort of putting in the reps, borderline kind of dangerous. So that's what I'm coming in here and doing. I want to develop a habit of coming in here, sharing, putting myself out there. I think it's a better if this is the game that is going to be more and more important, then I got to be in here playing it. And this is something that I want to share with everybody right now, is that I think you should be really careful with the type of games that you choose to play. And by games, I don't actually mean like literal video games. I mean like this, for example, playing the YouTuber game, or playing the building a business game, playing the following my passion game. There are games. What I'm calling a game is just things that you're engaging in, that you're doing every day, and that there's a path to move up. So, for example, if you're playing the corporate ladder game, or if you're playing the starting your own business game, you want to be very careful with the game that you want to play, because chances are that if you play long enough, you are going to get higher up you're going to achieve more in that game that you're playing. So I grew up playing this video game called Tibia, and Tibia was an online multiplayer. It was like an MMORPG. I don't remember what it stands. It's like mass multiplayer online role playing game or something like that. Anyway, the point is that you had this character that was like started at level 0, and then as you got in playing the game and then you like fought different monsters, you would gain levels and you would gain skills, and so your strength would go up, your magic would go up, and the game has never ended, and there's still a lot of people playing it. And I go sometimes in there like every like 3 months. I'll go in there and I'll check the highest scores of this games just to kind of see, do I recognize anybody that's still playing the game? And there are people there that I still recognize from like 12, 20 years ago. And it's, probably not maybe 20 years ago, maybe like 17 years ago or something. I still recognize people in there that have been playing the game, and they're among the top level characters in there. They're like the highest levels. And it made me think of the fact that it only makes sense, right? Like they've been the people that have been playing the longest. That doesn't mean just because you have a long time playing the game that you're going to be the highest level, but because there's definitely new people there that I don't recognize. But excuse me, I feel I ate so much before making this video, and I feel full. And if you see me like with hiccups, it's what it is. So in any case, people who are playing the game for a really long time, inevitably they're gonna be really high level. And I thought of that analogy for business, for example, or for you making this content right here that I'm making. The sooner you start playing the game that you want to play, the longer you stick with it. So the sooner you start, the longer time, and you think about it from a long-term perspective, then it's kind of like playing a game that you want to be playing, and you're going to eventually you will get to the place where you want to get to. And the key word here is eventually. With enough time, you'll get there. And so a lot of people tend to not start things because they think to themselves, well, I'm not going to put out their content because I think I'm going to sound bad, or I'm not going to be good, or I don't know what to say. Like, I'm coming in here and I'm pretty much rambling about nonsense here, and that's okay. At first, this is what it's supposed to look like. You got to embrace the fact that you're not really that good, but it's okay. If it's a game that is worth playing, and it's a game that you want to get better at, it's a game that you eventually want to get to the top of this game, just start playing the game. Just like go for it. Like whether it's starting your own business, creating content, and I don't mean like starting your own business, like go all in and like abandon your current job and just go all in. I mean, right now I'm not abandoning my current job to become a YouTuber. I'm just taking the end of my day, a few minutes here to come online and share whatever it is, share some lessons, just getting putting the reps in to become better at this craft just because I know right now this might not be it might not be good. Like these videos might not be good, but years down the line, with enough practice, if I keep coming in here and sharing every day, I will get better. It's just normal. It's normal that you are not that great at the beginning and that you eventually start getting better at things. And so anyway, that's kind of what has been on my mind, because today I'm like, okay, should I? And I haven't really thought about like, should I make a video or not, because I'm making the commitment to do this. So I'm just going with a momentum and not even questioning it. But I want to put out there the reason for why I'm doing it, because it might seem to maybe years looking back at this, other people would be thinking like, hey, why were you sharing all these things, or why were you coming in here and speaking nonsense? And it's because I think that if it's a game worth playing, it's worth doing it badly. So anyway, that is something that I've been thinking about. So make sure that you only choose to play games that you want to win at, or at least like trying to move your life in that direction. So if you're in a game, quote unquote game, that you're stuck playing right now that you are not happy with, then start slowly shifting, right? So like I eventually, and I shared this yesterday, I see my life where I want to be creating more and more of content like this. I want to be creating more helpful content to help people out there. And I think right now it's not the time to go all in and start becoming a full-time YouTuber. I think right now it's just slowly like just starting to put content out there. And I know I want to be in this game playing it more, but I'm not going 100% shifting my life and just pursuing this thing wholeheartedly. I mean, I enjoy making these videos and I am doing it with intentionality, but I'm not like risking everything as my only career path. Like as this is like my next career move or something. This is just something that I'm doing, and in fact, I find a lot of fun in it. So if you have an idea, if you have something that you would like to pursue, this is my challenge to you: is go ahead and start pursuing it, even if it's just like 10% of your time, like I'm making here with this videos. This is like the end of the day, an end of the day thing for me, where I come here, I share, I quickly post it. I don't do any editing, as you can see right now. At least I don't think too hard about the thumbnail, even though on YouTube, like that's like the thing that matters the most, like your thumbnail, the title. I'm barely putting any thought into that, and the reason for that is because right now I don't have the time. And some people might say, well, then this is just a waste of time. And the way I see it, again, is that if it's a game worth playing, it's worth doing it badly. So I might as well be coming in here, putting in the reps. I find it enjoyable, and just keep going at it. And you know, I'm seeing this as a long-term thing. Let me see what else I've got here in my notes. So I've been thinking also about the fact of how long it takes to create a great company. So right now, I have this vision of scaling our company to $10 million. Okay, and it's so crazy how long it actually takes to get there. And every day I'm learning new lessons, which is why there was a huge motivator for me to create these videos, is to document that process. But every day I'm learning lessons that almost feel like every day is like a brand new epiphany, and something gets revealed that it's like, oh, like that changes things. And it's crazy, like how many of those I've had in the past years, in the past like 2-3 years, where I learn all the time something new that changes the game for us. Right now, I feel like today was one of those pivotal moments in which I am thinking I finally discovered how we're going to solve the issue of support inside our company. So right now, the problem inside our company, one of our biggest bottlenecks, is support. And I am thinking that the best way to solve this problem right now, and this is something super, super silly, and it feels almost embarrassing to say it, is by creating a knowledge base that is text-based, as opposed to what we've been doing up until now. It's a ton of video tutorials. And so the reason why I'm saying this, and why, so I'm personally one who loves watching videos, and I love to follow along in the videos. That's how I've learned, and that's how I've like created all of the support tutorials inside our company are all videos. And the reason for that is because it's fast for me to make them. It's easy. I just turn on Loom and I record them, and it's the fast thing to do. And so because it's fast, is the thing that I default to. And then if ever a client has a question or something that they need, I just real quick make a Loom video, and I'll share it with them. And so the problem right now is that we have brought on new employees, or we have an employee right now who's helping with support. obviously don't know the software as well as I do because I have been using this software for the past 4 years. They're just starting to learn how to use the software. There are a million ways to if you have one support problem, there are like 5 ways to solve that issue. And so then some issues or some solutions are better than others. Some solutions are easy and simple both for the client and for us. Some solutions are going to create unnecessary additional support on our end, for example. And so for us, for me, the challenge has been, it's like, how do I give somebody the ability to make the decision for which kind of support they should be providing to the client? And also, how do we make sure that the answers that they're giving them are good, and how can we make it easy for the employees that we're hiring to find the answers to give the employees and so to give the clients. And ultimately, the thing that I've been thinking about is that if we wanted to do 5-10x what we're currently doing right now, or even more, we have to make the game easy. And so I've been thinking about how can we make the game of support easy? And so what I've been thinking about is something that I think I heard Elon Musk talk about this. From the first person who I've heard it from is like thinking in terms of first principles. And at least my idea of it is writing down my ideals. What do I want to have happen, just from a conceptual level, not from like how would it look like, but rather like just concepts. So for example, if I am making a decision for how do I want support to be, well, one, it's easy. Two, like these are principles, right? So easy, simple, eliminate a lot of decision making. It has to be easy to copy paste. It has to be easy. So copy paste if let's say if we have a knowledge base that is text based, that's easy to copy paste. And so if a client has a question, we can copy and paste the article, or it's another principle that I thought of is that it's easy to search, so it's searchable, and that it's easily searchable. So whatever knowledge base we have, being able to easily find the articles for support that we need. So that's something important, making sure that the articles are useful and that are very specific to the use cases that we're getting, and that the articles are on they bias on the side of over explaining things and over breaking and breaking things down to the smallest detail. So these are kind of all the principles that I have in my head for how I want this support process to look like, right? And so starting from there, we're going to be able to make decisions in terms of how to really do the support. And so, but we start with the principles. We start with the abstract concepts of how we want it to look like, and then we start getting to the tactical in terms of like, okay, this solutions fit these kind of checklists. This solution right here that we're coming up with fits the mold that we're trying to fits the principles that we're trying to stick to. And so that's something that I have found really helpful, is to think in that way. And ideally, I'm seeing that is something that I'm going to have to teach eventually once we start including or once our employees start becoming leaders themselves. Teaching them to think in first principles is something really, really useful, so that they'll be able to duplicate their thinking process to other employees. And for me right now, this is serving as a tool that I can then use to duplicate decision-making process with the current employees that we have, being able to get them to see see things from the same perspective that I'm seeing them, even if they have different ideas, that they at least have the principles, and we could talk about those principles. And so anyway, that is something there that I've been thinking about. And so right now, I think I have the solution for how we're going to overcome the support problem is by creating support articles, very detailed support articles, And so right now, the intention for this weekend, because right now it is Friday night, 18 p.m. Exciting. I'm not partying it up. Um, so the way the intention for this weekend is for me to keep categorizing all of the support pros. So I've taken all of the support questions that we've gotten from our clients, dropped them into a Miro board, and created like sticky notes for each of those of the questions. And then at the beginning it was a mess. I just threw it all out there, and it just like had a jumble mess of all the sticky notes. And then what I've done is I've sort of broadly categorized them. I have to redo it again and categorize them from the client's perspective. And so that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I'm going to keep adding more questions into it. I'm going to be recategorizing them from the client's perspective. Then from there, whatever already we have tutorials for that are video tutorials, I'm going to find somebody on Upwork. We're going to find somebody in Upwork that we're going to then pay so that they can translate those video tutorials into support articles. And so that's where I'm going to start this weekend. And eventually the goal is to translate all of the videos, to turn all of the video documentation that we have right now and turn those into actual support articles that are text-based. Those are easily searchable, easy to copy paste. So if a client has a question, we can copy and paste from the article into the support email. We can send them the article. We can feed that into an AI bot so that AI can do support for us. We can make it so it's easily searchable for new employees that are coming in. They can find the answers really easily. We can use that. I mean, I think it's just overall a much better idea than doing it like this, than doing it through videos. And the other thing that I was thinking is that, you know, maybe the way we're going to do it is that if we ever want to create new support documentation, maybe it starts with like the person in charge, or like me at this point, or you know, an employee. They start with creating a quick video, and then they turn that into a support article or something like that. But in any case, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. I think that's the way to go with support, is just to create like really detailed support documentation that is text based, that is easy for us, easy for the clients to use, easy like that they can understand. It solves their questions, easy to be searchable. And so yeah, that's the intention for this weekend. It feels silly that this lesson has taken so long to learn, to create those support documentation that are text-based. And the reason why it's taken so long, again, it's because it was super easy to create Loom videos to answer questions fast, as opposed to like taking the time to create a really detailed support documentation for a question that we're getting. And so the support documentation is slower to create, but it's actually more useful. The videos are faster. And so because they're faster, that's what I've been relying on. But now we're stuck. And so, yeah, it's just being able to translate all those documents into text is where I feel like it's going to make the biggest difference. The other reason why I haven't moved into support articles, it's because in the past I've used softwares where their support documentation wasn't really that good. And so it made me feel like, you know, videos are usually, and if I ever see that the support documentation has a video, I usually just go for the video. And so that's why, as a personal preference, which is a reminder, like you can't just do things because it's your personal preference. And so anyway, and also because I thought in the past, like, making support documentation, so usually the articles of support that I've read from other companies are usually very general, and it has made me feel like, oh, they're not answering my specific questions. And so that's why I've had an aversion to doing that. But right now I see, like, why don't I can still make them relevant, just like a video. I can still make a support article that is relevant to the question. I don't need to make them general. But yeah, I just, believe it or not, it just hadn't crossed my mind. And so anyway, that's it. That's my update. That's what I'm going to be working on this weekend. It's just the support documentation, making sure that we're making strides. Hopefully, the idea here is to have as many of those support documents as possible, eventually create a knowledge base for our clients, eventually leading to maybe an AI bot to do support for our clients. That's what I've been thinking about. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in following along and seeing how we and seeing the lessons that I'm learning as we try and scale our company right now, follow, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching. My name is Hervin, and I'll see you tomorrow.